The time in the studios of Classic is it's 4 minutes gone past the hour of 9 o'clock. And good morning to you, our Classic listeners, Classic 105.5 and 105.9. A special good morning and welcome to our viewers on GBN's Channel 7, Channel 11, and those of you that's on Channel 20 via of the cable platform, or you probably channel it via the World Wide Web at www.gbn.gd or possibly via Facebook. Good morning to you and welcome to the Point for today, the 28th day of the month of October. It's an open line Thursday, and today you get the opportunity to call or post your comments or your concerns on matters of national interest, or just maybe something that's on your mind that you need to bring to the attention of the public. There's a caller that is live. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you?
Wonderful, thank you.
Good. I need a little explanation regarding the regulations update.
Okay. Allow me just to, so I don't want to talk to it off the top of my head, but I know I have it in here. Right. So the regulation updates as it was released. So curfew runs from 9 until 4 a.m. Beaches, they're open for the purpose of swimming and for exercise. Your funerals and weddings, they're allowed with a minimum amount of persons, 20 persons. There's now no set opening or closing hours for businesses, but certainly you are encouraged to use your discretion as it relates to what time you close and making the relevant arrangements for staff to go home. And certainly there were indications, yes, that the state of emergency, it would be passing up in lower house, but the state of emergency would be extended for another 6 months. So I think in short, that just about summarizes the regulation update.
No, actually, I have all of that information.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is,
sure,
if the curfew is from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m.,
mm-hmm.
how come the beaches are opened 24/7?
I think I almost saw that coming, and believe me, you're not the only person that is asking that question. But it's interesting, while the regulation said this, I think it may probably just be a challenge in communication, because when Minister Steele, in his discourse yesterday on post-cabinet briefing, he did actually, those are not his words, he did say that the beach is open within the confines, is open but not outside of the curfew restrictions. So he did say that, but certainly what we have in here is just what I would say is just an error in the wording itself, that because really and truly it's not possible that it can be open for 24 hours when in fact there is a curfew from 9. So I think in all this, it has to, I would just take it as an error in wording and the way it's actually communicated. But the minister did actually clear that up when in his delivery in post-cabinet briefing yesterday.
Also,
mm-hmm.
businesses have no set time for opening and closing. This is confusing.
When you confusing, explain to me when you say how you see what's the confusion for you?
Well, if I see that and I have my business,
mm-hmm.
I open all day, all night.
Well, okay, right. I understand, and I understand what you say totally, and I think, and I'm hoping that the authorities, as they were listening to it. I think, as it would just be the wording. But as the minister said, there's no set time for closing. In that previously, the businesses were told if curfew is at 7, then you have to close at this time, so as to allow. But some persons are saying, listen, I only have 2 persons in my workplace. They live 5 minutes away from me, which means maybe I'm running just a small shop, a little bar or whatever. I'm just myself. So I may not necessarily need 2 hours to close in advance to get them home. So I think that's the way the discretion is being allowed. But again, it comes down to the wording. Basically, we're saying curfew is at 9 o'clock. You are not being told specifically you have to close 2 hours, 3 hours before. If half an hour is sufficient time for your staff to get home, so that they do not compromise the integrity of the curfew at 9 o'clock, then fine. I think in short, that's what it is expressing. That's what the hope is, giving business owners the allowing them to use their own discretion as to what they do. So if you're allowed to milk the clock down up until 9 o'clock, just ensure that you do not find yourself compromised in terms of how your staff gets home.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All the best to you. 435-2041, and certainly I think the concern is shared by that first caller. It's a common one. I've had friends, people asking me like, JC, like seriously, is that really possible? Good morning, caller, you're alive. Good morning, caller, you're live.
I must, on the line it was, I must call and I must listen to the program to see how, I wanted to say you all are thinking, but I would say we are thinking. We make, or we seem to make, laws, and we do not analyze it to see what it means. We do not watch into the concept of the laws, and we just run and say things. For example, this lady made a valid point. A point, everybody knows this is true. When you make laws, the laws must be narrow enough that people could obey it. Now, I am wondering, a lot of things have been made. Well, I'm living in Grenada, and I'm thinking about specifically about Grenada. I care about the other countries, but not as much as I care for Grenadians or for us. Now, even I talked about that already, and I would want to reinforce it. Now, let's assume that schools, or not assume, school will be open soon, maybe next week. And 1 or 2 children go into the school with the virus, and as you will say, unknowingly, how you call that again when they don't know? Healthy carrier.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it so happened that they spread it among the teachers, well, let's say a few teachers, among the children. What do you think would happen to the school or the population of Grenada? We having chaos. And as you are aware, or maybe I'll ask you that, do we have enough money to take care of them?
Well, let me ask you the question, but you are aware that there are protocols, there are prescribed protocols within the school system that allows for the handling of persons that are identified, whether or not they identify, because the schools don't have the ability to identify that.
The school would have the ability to identify?
No.
Okay.
You're not listening. I'm saying there's a protocol in place that if a child comes with flu-like symptoms, there's a strict protocol that allows for how that case is treated. That isn't a new protocol. That protocol was been in place since last year. So while there were some elements of it that's new in terms of the date for school. Some of the protocols were already in place, and they are tested. So that would be the simple answer for that. Same as in the workplace, if I come down with flu-like symptoms, there's a protocol where I go home, whatever the case might be. Those protocols are already instituted within the schools, and certainly the principals at each of those schools, they at their discretion will determine exactly how those protocols are rolled out.
I agree with you. What do you mean by discretion? That's one. Obviously, to me, who is I don't know, I heard the word healthy carrier. Who is a healthy carrier? In other words, okay, carrier, hold on, don't answer it.
But you're asking me.
No, hold on. Let me comment first before you answer it. So you mean we have expertise or expert to identify maybe healthy carriers? I'm not disputing the fact. That's why we have so much spread, because we are identifying the healthy carriers.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. But you brought up, in your deliberation, you made reference to healthy carriers. So you said healthy carriers, and then you're asking about experts and how to determine who's a healthy carrier. When in fact you, as part of your deliberation, you made a reference to healthy carriers.
Yes, I don't know who is a healthy carrier. You would have it and you don't know. and you're carrying the virus, and then you could spread
all
it.
The term healthy carriers literally would mean that some individuals who there's certain signs and symptoms. You catch the flu, you will sneeze, you cough. There's some individuals they may not carry those symptoms.
Or they may not. Okay.
So that's what a healthy.
They may not, or they wouldn't.
That's what a healthy carrier.
That's your concept of a healthy carrier.
Well, if you're not certain, I can probably suggest you could probably call one of the local health authorities.
I wouldn't
the
call
local health center 440-3371.
I'm not certain. I'm too certain. Because in the earliest, I said, and I noted to you all, that a virus could be in a person without showing sign.
Yes, sir, and that's what we've just established, the issue of a healthy carrier.
1 to 14 days. And then it would explode. I use the word explode. Don't think it's about volcano, or a bomb,
I understand, sir. 15 minutes, 14 minutes actually, onto the hour. 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock. What is wrong with me? Janelle McDonald, you're called and summoned to the studio, please. And I know that you're listening. Janelle McDonald, please come and assist me. An inquiry that's coming via social media, and my dear soul, we're attempting to get a hold of the Met office so they can offer us some explanation as to what's happening. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Sure, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
I'm blessed myself. Now, I listen a gentleman called this morning concerned Afghanistan with polio, disease and things in that area right now. So America been in Afghanistan for 20 years. 20 years them inside Afghanistan. So them know the people have polio inside to treat them all the years they've been inside it. I listen to news while they pass on BBC News concerned Afghanistan again. That people still trying to get food in Afghanistan right now. The Taliban take over just Aga to take over the country. 2 months people starving already. Enough food to eat. For all the years people been living inside for all the years and America they're in trouble. But if they talk. It's 2 months people take over the country. 2 months Taliban take over. And just people still trying to get food to eat in Afghanistan right now. They're going to be at night times. So all America going to fight about showing up to get rid of the Taliban. With all the military, all the bombers and everything.
Well, what is it? I'm not getting. You made reference to the caller this morning, but I'm not sure exactly.
That polio is inside there, and which the Taliban asking the health department to come and give the people vaccine for polio.
Okay,
so I said America been there all the years gone by.
And that may
so what they was doing?
History would prove yes, but I don't think I'm not in a position to answer that.
Yeah, but they was only looking to capture the country, but care about the health.
I am not in a position.
And the background.
I am not in a position to answer the U.S. policy. Okay.
I don't know how I see it. If they've been about 20 years, them like us will be better off. For 20 years, the Taliban go in power, take over, they have money to get aid to them, they hold back the aid. So when they hold back the aid from giving Taliban, they make the country better or worse. But then they have some meeting with GF7, the 7 people had a meeting, I think, some lately one day, and they plan to give them the money to run the country and open the bank and thing, and the whole of the funds overseas, let the country run. Even squeeze the country, and the Taliban, most of the people.
Well, I agree.
For the people in Afghanistan.
I agree, sir, but there are certain things certainly that we have little or no control over.
Yeah, I know.
And we would hope that the international agencies they would find a way to deal with those issues.
No, yeah, the world is not the world is level. The world is 50-50. Somebody like you and someone like you. Communism working better than imperialism. Because all is my fault. No ism perfect. Imperialism, communism, socialism, all is high fault in any case. But if all the while imperialism working, for the years gone by working, in the past years gone by and slavery time they working. Now you ain't working now under the system with communist system right now. Couple eyes open and they learn more than the past. They read and they get things. Now if China is a communist state and China progressive in the world from slavery, just as we back to slavery too. So why America trying to squeeze them all from?
So, as I'm saying to you, and I understand you have this concern, but I don't think we are in a position to comment on America's foreign policies, and that is a separate issue all by itself. We see it, we hear it. We've seen it, and we hear it. So we're providing you a platform that allows us. Is there anything specific you want to talk about? A specific
I get on BBC News at night time. So I was telling you how it is.
Okay, I understand.
No,
I
American
understand,
policy
sir.
in the world, and the G7 people in the world feel the world is their own. The G7 people who want meeting in England later on, they feel the world is theirs. I got to obey their laws. But it's time that these people feel that the world is theirs.
Okay,
It was
sir.
an open world for everybody to live. I had one friend, and they want relationship with any country they wish to have a relationship with.
I understand
They
that.
go on the link with China, and those black child was spreading. They go all the black child from spreading, you know.
I understand, sir.
They're spreading too fast, but they're educated,
Okay,
and they're together.
no problem.
And they're wise and things like that, you know, but they want to accept them as wise people. They
Okay.
accept them as American people, the greatest people in the world.
Thank
World
you.
belongs to America. They
Thank
the
you.
world police.
Thank you very much,
Another
sir.
foreign policy must change. It's time to change up world policy. They have to.
And as I said, sir, we can
we
debate this
discuss
all
that,
day,
but
sir.
I mean,
But we do not have. This is not a platform, sir, for us to debate U.S. foreign policy. I'm sorry, I'm not an expert in U.S. foreign policy. Maybe there's concerns. Maybe speak to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But I'm really and truly, sir, when I listen on BBC News, I don't allow that to influence my thoughts on America's foreign policy, sir. And I mean, we have other persons who probably try to get through on the line. 435-2041, that's the number on the inside. Somebody there inquiring, we really need to do something about the big cement trucks and that continues to dirty our nation's road. Yesterday, make reference to something that happens on Loaders Lane yesterday as just another example, making the road very making it on this very distasteful, as they say, for to drive and to walk. And I agree, it's something that definitely needs to be addressed. We go to the telephone lines. Caller, good morning, you're live.
Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning to you.
You know, I just want to talk a little bit about the reception on Channel 7.
Reception on Channel 7, yes?
Yeah, I do not have cable, and so I use Channel 7.
Mm-hmm.
But for the longest while now, it is not going well. And I have called a few times. You sit and the television is just running. You hear nothing, you see nothing. And I'll just give you a little example. For instance, last night, when the news was going on, the Minister of Youth was giving a speech or something. And I never heard what she said, and I never saw anything, because perhaps for about a dead 5 minutes, that thing was running. Then, last night, we had the Bob report, and I sat there to look at it. And then Mr. Finsley St. Louis was speaking. And I'm telling you, just in the middle of everything, he just wasn't speaking again. He was just on the television, and for about half an hour, the program never came back.
Okay. You mind me if I ask you which area? Because what most I can do from, as of now, if you tell me the area that you're calling from, I can pass the information from one of the technicians.
St. Andrew. Harford Village,
so
to be exact.
Harford
and
Village
even
in St.
this
Andrew.
morning, the same thing is happening. You see nothing, you hear nothing, because this thing is just constantly running.
Is that a problem that is unique to you, or your neighbors are all having the same problem?
Well, I don't know about my neighbors, because, I don't really ask
Okay, I was just trying
neighbors
to...
what the reception is like.
Do you have a contact number that the technicians can reach you at?
Yeah, my telephone is 438-4494. But I mean, this is constant. And I have called quite a few times, and nothing has happened. Up to this morning, it's going the same way. Even while you are on the television, they know it's not as bad as it was last night, but it is still the same thing.
So what I'm going to do, because at first it will be important to determine whether or not it is something that is unique to you, or if it's something that's affecting the general area. But certainly, I would pass the information on to the technical team.
Yeah, but what I would like to know is if, I guess, perhaps the same thing doesn't happen with people who have cable.
As I said, I'm not in a position to say. I'm honestly not. I would have to be advised by that. The technical team would have to advise me.
Yes,
I'm
because
not in a
sometimes
position to
you
say.
sit and something starts, and then just out of the blues, nothing.
And I
tell you, last night with the Bob report, nothing. And I don't know what happened, but finally the television did come back, but not with the Bob report.
And you get your GBN. Do you have an outside antenna? Do you use a Fire Stick?
I do not have an outside antenna. I have an inside antenna.
So do you use what? You use one of those new dish? You get in via the internet?
No.
Or is it just a standard Rabbit Air?
Just plain, you know.
Just a standard Rabbit Air, free to air.
Right.
Okay, fine. So I'm asking you those in collecting that information so I can pass it on to the technical team
Okay,
so that
hopefully
they
something
can
could
make,
happen because
they
sometimes
can
it's
make
really
an
annoying.
evaluation. So what I'm going to do, though, I promise you, when I get off the program ends, I would have a conversation with the team and I would get back to you to advise you as to what happens going forward. Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. All the best to you.
You too.
24 minutes gone past the hour in the morning time. Yes, that issue regarding those trucks. Yes, so they're not just the cement trucks, the trucks that carry different debris of different stuff. And for some reason, they figure that they overloaded the trucks. But they take a little narrow piece of tarpaulin, and then for road users, it's a challenge. Good morning, caller. You're alive.
Joseph, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Joe, I have a problem with this, not the last caller, but the previous caller, who always condemn the United States. Always condemn the United States. But where his son is, when he gets to the barrel, Mark Emmanuel MacLeod, where he coming from? Emmanuel MacLeod, father St. George, where he coming from? The United States. But he always condemn the United States.
Well, I would not be able to comment on that. He probably has his reasons.
Always,
God forbid.
His son up there.
Okay.
Next time he gets his barrel, is the United States. He don't get from Cuba, he don't get from Russia. But always condemn the United States.
It's possible that maybe people have unresolved issues. I'm not quite sure. People do things for different reasons, and it probably would be interesting to know if that is in fact his reason, what his reasonings are. But we'll leave it as we'll leave that as it is. You take care. 435-2041, that's the number on the inside. 20. We're gonna need to take a break, but let me just entertain this caller before we do. Caller, good morning. You're live.
Hey, Joe, good morning.
Good morning to
Just
you.
allow me to make some points, please. I know in recent times we have been holding our head and bawling a little more about our financial situation. I just want to let us know and remind us that the problem we're having now didn't start yesterday. It didn't start 2 years ago. This started since the 1990s when our present administration has been on a rampage to get investments, have been increasing the debt, the budget from around 500 million into the billions. The early 2000s, when you had when a lot of the government entities were moved to statutory bodies, you also had a lot of contracting going on. You know, a lot of hospital cleaning agencies that were part of the government service became independent bodies and contracts were given. Remember, we had the explosion of the Vote 340.
Yes.
So all of those things added up over the period of time and created the debt where it is now. Now, there has not been much focus on our internal commerce. We have been importing, and there was no strategic plan for getting exports. When we have all this importation and little exports, it also creates a budget on the system. Now, the way government is going to pay for this is increase taxes, increase fees, and right now is a culmination or the result of all of those misappropriations from 20, 30 years ago. So now people are being squeezed because government wants to provide services and it doesn't have the money to pay. International agencies are tightening the belt. International in the vulnerable countries are now looking internally rather than opening their pockets to help. So we find countries now are really tit for tat.
Okay.
We have to, going forward, we have to look at the, I would say, for this election that's coming up, which party has a better plan. We cannot look at, we like NNP, so let's vote NNP. We like NSC, let's vote NSC. You have to look at the track record. You have to look at see which party is going to really create exports, really look for internal development, boost agriculture so you can feed yourself. We can look at small business development.
Okay.
And reduce that heavy dependence on taxes. Taxes are important, but
right.
It should be structured in a way not to repress people today, but that you can have development, and from that you can get your revenue.
Thank you, sir.
We have to look very, very carefully right now at this time we are not which party wants to really help develop the country, and not just vote because we like somebody.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye. You're welcome.
435-204. We take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back to the point for Thursday the 28th. I think my technical team may have probably lost me. So while I wait, and then we need to take a break. Let me just see.
Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Once upon a time, we shopped at Wonderland, then Neverland. But we're all grown up now and no longer believe in fairy tales. So now we just shop at Shoes R Us. At Shoes R Us, we stock the latest in shoes, tops, and jeans for the fashion-conscious lady. We also carry colognes and much, much more. And for the modern trendy male, we have the latest brand-name shoes and sneakers, Converse, Reebok, Nike, K-Swiss, Puma, and much more. So check us out at our two convenient locations, Melville Street in St. George and Ben Jones Street in Granville. At Shoes R Us, we say, come shop with us.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Foliage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100-pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going. Spare your pocket, spare the earth. Always act when let you come first. Save energy, save our time. We choose your wattage and we choose your time. When you use appliances, make sure you buy energy efficient every time.
25 minutes onto the hour. We have a caller on the line. It's an open line. Go ahead.
Hi,
You're
good morning,
live.
Joe, and to your followers. Quickly, Gwen Lake, first, I understand why some people are, making comments about the situation at Gwen Lake. Because, as I've said before on the same program, up to a year ago, everything to do with rates and so had to do with the company. Suddenly, the government has bought it, and nothing to do with rate has to do with the company anymore. It has to do with how you use your electricity, your negligence, now the cost of fuel, and everything else. So I could understand why people are saying, there is a sort of hypocrisy there, because nothing else seemed to matter but the company before, and now the company has nothing to do with rates anymore. It's everything but Glen Lake because now the government owns it. So I can understand why people are making these comments. Now, this morning I spoke something about the vaccine, and people seem to have got the wrong impression. I am not saying that the vaccine is the only thing, Joe. Joe, nobody's more concerned about the health than me. At my age, I walk an hour 6 days a week. I jog, as a matter of fact, most of it uphill. I'm very concerned about my diet, and I grow most of my food to make sure it is healthy and it is safe. So I'm very concerned about exercise. I'm very concerned about food. I use a lot of herbs, a lot of local stuff. So I'm very concerned about immunity, natural immunity. But I'm also saying that we have in our armory, in addition to all those things and all the protocols I follow, we have something else that we can use. And, we hear a lot of talk about the vaccine. And it seems that people don't realize we have about 100 different vaccines produced by about 20 different countries. And some of them as diverse as Russia, China, countries which will never join with the United States to do anything under the sun in a long time. So this thing about, it's the vaccine and it's Bill Gates. Are you saying China? Is it cahoots with Bill Gates? Are you saying Russia? Are you saying Cuba and all of them?
Well,
so we have to be careful.
The truth is, what I firmly believe that the conversation about vaccine, it doesn't matter 100 years from now. History is going to record this, that this is our position, and even if another pandemic breaks, and God forbid, anytime we have to do, I think the challenge we live in an era, and I think that's what maybe makes this a little bit even more confusing. That information, access to information, and note I'm not qualifying the information, but access to information it's almost easy. It's easy. That people are now we're literally bombarded. So there's information and then there is the truth. And people are just bombarded with information from all different media.
I beg to differ with you. Because if it's incorrect, it's not information. It can be communication, but not information. You cannot inform somebody with something that is not true.
Propaganda is information.
It's propaganda. It's not information.
But isn't propaganda information?
Well,
it's all information.
It's misinformation. It could be misinformation or whatever it is.
I guess that's probably semantics, though.
Yes. The problem is, as one guy said on a program here some time ago, that the smartphones have made us very stupid. Because after years and years of being helped with vaccine to get rid of all those pandemics we've had, and nobody complained. You know, if I get a cut in my garden today, I go to the medical center, they'll tell me, oh, when last did you have a tetanus vaccine? And if I say, well, it's a few years back, they say, oh, well, make sure you get it right now. And they'll say, don't forget to come back for your booster within a year. I don't query that. And if I ask them what is in the vaccine, how long it took to develop that one. So we have grown up being accustomed to vaccine and immunization certificates for our kids to go to school and all those things. But suddenly, we're hearing all those things. So all I'm saying is, I am not saying that the vaccine is the be-all and the end-all.
Okay.
I am not saying that that's what I rely on. I'm saying that I think it's something in our armory, and I believe as a family, every member of my family, includes from my mother, who is 99, to my granddaughter, who is 12, and mind you, her both parents are doctors.
I think ultimately
they're not acting in ignorance.
I think ultimately it comes down to personal choices, and people at the end of the day they would reserve the right to take or not to take, to do or not to do. I think that's the ultimate conversation.
But I just want to clarify, I'm not saying that the vaccine is all. I do everything else.
My dear sir,
in addition
even
to the vaccine.
Thank you very much. Okay, no problem.
Have a wonderful day.
20 minutes onto the hour in the morning time. We continue. This is an open line Thursday. Good morning, caller. You alive?
Yes, Joe, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Joe, regardless of all that's going on with the vaccine and whatever, I want to say to us Grenadians that the times we are living in, these are called perilous times. We are nearing the end of the age. And the thing that we need most is to develop our personal and intimate relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ for the saving of our souls. Joe, we must die regardless of what we die from. So we need to know that we are saved, that our souls are saved, that when we leave the earth, we're going to a better place. A lot of people say when somebody dies, oh, may they rest in peace. They're going to a better place. And they never knew God. They never had a relationship with God. Some of them don't even believe God if He exists. But we're wishing them eternal rest. You know, they shall rest in peace. The only how someone can die and rest in peace is if they are born of the Spirit, they live a life of holiness and walking with God. Otherwise, there is no such thing as resting in peace and being in a better place.
Okay.
We must be born again. That's what the Word of God says. And this is the time that all Grenadians should seek their God and make their souls ready for the day they are called. God bless you, baby.
Thank you very much. All the best to you. 435-2041. That's the number on the inside. Is an open line. Peter Mitchell. Is it well with your soul, Peter Mitchell? We continue. We go back to the telephone lines. Classic. Good morning. You're live. Good morning, caller. You're live.
Hey, Joe, morning.
Yes, good morning. How may I help? Go ahead.
I talk about Afghanistan and the past and things about the work. I listen and I read and get to know. But the person who called my name on the radio and say my children in America.
Okay, sir. You know what? I think allow me, sir. I don't think this platform is a platform for us to engage in back and forth personal responses. I'm really, really, really sorry. I don't think I'm really going to allow that, to encourage this. If somebody says something you did not agree, like me, there's not the position where I would allow you to start going into this back and forth positions as to whether or not you agree with what the person says. If you know the person and you want to have a separate conversation with them, but that is fine. But that's not the sort of behavior we are going to condone on the platform. And there are persons out there who have more burning issues of national concern. Classic, good morning, you're live.
Joe.
Yes, good morning.
America war with Cuba and Vietnam.
Hello?
Did America fight a war with Cuba and Vietnam?
So why is it? I'm not sure what is it you're hoping to achieve. So what is the concern? This is not a platform, sir, and I'm not qualified in any way, form, or fashion to discuss the U.S. foreign policies. And I'm not sure why you keep insisting that I should go down that road with you. I do not in any way, form, or fashion represent the United States of America. Neither does the GBN, and we do not hold. I don't hold any particular position on U.S. foreign policy, sir. I am sorry. I'm really sorry. 435-2041. We go back to the telephone lines. Classic, good morning, you're live.
Morning, greetings, Brother Joe.
Good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, concerning the vaccine, Brother Joe. You know, since we're going to school, we've been getting vaccine.
Correct.
But you know, sometimes we could condemn the internet, and sometimes we have to give praise for it still, give thanks for it still. Because the history that taught us about vaccine from centuries and centuries ago up to this day. You think people would trust and put all the heart in people who sit down behind in some laboratory, create certain virus, then creating certain things to make you believe you go take care of the virus? These things was going on for too long. Sometimes I always believe sometimes the way we are in this life and the way we behave among ourselves, all the things long been injected into us, and we wouldn't realize it and we wouldn't accept it. But we look at history. I was looking at the history of Canada last night and concerning the Indians and them that used to be and the black people that used to be there. And what the plans that these people work upon our people. It happened in America, it happened so many different times and up to this day. Why should we think we should trust everything that these people say? We've been doped long, and we have to be very careful that if we have faith with faith, then let's put our faith first.
Okay.
And discover that it have a cure within us. Your mind is the biggest weapon against this evil, because the fear that they put in us is killing you first before the vaccine, before the corona.
Okay, sir. Thank you. All the best to you. 435-2041. That's the number on the inside. I want to shout to those of you that's locked in via social media and engaging in the different platforms. Good morning, Rose Charles. How are you? Alistair Warwood Sr., everyone that's on the Facebook platform and taking into your comments as it is this morning. We go back to the telephone lines. Classic, good morning. You are live.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning to you, sir.
You know, I always like, as I've said, to listen to this program. I have been educated to know what types of people we have in the world. We have people who seem to be educated, who even think they are educated. My concept of education might be different from yours. My concept of words and every other thing is different from you. I don't understand. Well, when I look at it, I don't normally criticize people. I try to possibly persuade them by trying to educate them. Some people could take, some cannot take. What they believe, and you could never able to change it. Education, when a man has been educated.
But but why, sir, do you always give us the riddles, though? You always give us these parables.
Well, this is the problem.
Yeah, but when you're giving parables on national radio station, if you and I are having a conversation, I might have time for the parables.
Well,
if you attempted to educate and clear the air on something, may I submit to you that it would make better sense to just come clear and say, this is my position, I'm suggesting this, but you give us these riddles that we have to unfold.
But no, you don't have to unfold it. I'm saying it. And this is the problem we have, because a lot of people believe whatever they say is gospel truth. For example, if we have laws telling you that you have to be within your residence by 9 o'clock, you have to obey it.
Okay,
but some people believe that they're more equal than others. In other words, the law should be obeyed by everybody.
Well, what I would say to you, sir, that people are entitled to their perspectives and their opinions.
Yes.
At the end of the day, the law of the land will prevail. So while they are fully entitled to it, if you assume that the law says this, and you figure for some reason you have other entitlements, you are free to believe that. But we live in a law where there's laws that govern how we behave, what we do, what we don't do, and all the likes in the midst of our freedom.
But you have a right to analyze things. analyze, look into it, see the good and the bad of it, and then you make a decision.
Well, each and
But you
every-
cannot make. We should make rash decision and believe what we say is true.
Well, here's what I'll
we
say.
analyze it.
Here's what I'll say to you, sir, before we wrap. That what may seem as rash for you, based on your experience, what you've been through in life, may seem as perfect and logical.
But I would analyze myself. I would look into myself.
Yeah, and again, sir, that comes down to
Yes.
your background,
Look
your
to the piece of
learning.
introspection. Look into yourself.
Okay.
I don't mean you personally, you know.
No, not at all, sir. Not at all. Not at all. We also have to remember that a person's perception and the way they analyze things is based on a lot of things. Their background, their experiences, what they've gone through, their level of education. And so that's the reason why we have to learn to be more tolerant and open to individuals and allow them to express themselves. Listen, some things I don't agree with, but if that's the way you feel, it is the way that you feel. Classic, good morning. You're alive.
Good morning, and how are you doing?
I am wonderful, thank you, sir.
I think Grenadian might mix you up, man. Just because your initials is JC doesn't mean you're Jesus Christ.
Thanks for the laughter. Go ahead.
This morning, I'm a bit disappointed in Nawasa, right? Because I don't blast companies at all, yeah? But my bill has went up. Well, let me preface this by saying I don't have any leaks. My meter is spinning fine and everything, right? But my bill has went up by, let's not use a dollar figure, but by some 230-something%. Yeah, when I calculated it. And that is quite a lot, JC.
Okay.
That is quite a lot. So I went to Nawasa yesterday. I sat down with the customer service. They asked me all kind of questions. The last thing they told me to do, come back home. Well, that was afternoon after work, right? So come back home, record the meter reading, and call them this morning, yeah? I'm calling them this morning, and I decided to call you now after my 5th attempt, because every time I call, I even go direct to an extension I got. And other than that, I went direct to the operator. The operator even transferred me probably to the same extension I got. And nobody's answering the phone.
Okay,
Nobody's answering the phone since morning.
So here's what I can do for you personally, if you don't mind. If you give me your number.
Yes.
I get off, my shift ends in just under 5 minutes.
Yes.
Give me your number, and I will get somebody, I'll reach somebody in Nawasa for you, and I'll put them on to you. That's my promise to you. If you give me your name and your number.
I could give you my number now.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm asking, if you don't mind.
Well, Kingsley James, 449-4839.
449-4839, Mr. James. Mr. James, as soon as I'm off my shift, I would call you back, and I promise you, I'll find somebody in Nawasa for you. It's the least I can do.
You know what's the funny thing?
What's that?
I don't know what's wrong, because I got an older bill, and well, I didn't get the bill they're supposed to send it no, right? I only saw my balance through the new mobile app thing they launched. But when I came home yesterday, Joseph, and I recorded the meter reading, I got up this morning. Imagine that. I got up this morning, and it is the same as yesterday.
Well.
Like literally the same. I flushed, I washed, I did, and it is the same. But I don't know what's going on, because the previous bills, when I look at the meter readings, they just go up 1 unit, 2 units.
I wouldn't want to comment on what is or isn't happening with your meter, but I would be happy if my meter doesn't move at all. But what I promise you, though, Kingsley, when I'm through, I am going to find you somebody in Nawasa. Believe me, I'll find you somebody in Nawasa, and at least it's the best I can do to help you on a Thursday.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and it breaks my heart to do this because I don't like to do this. Just because I haven't gotten them about 5 or 6 times.
Well, these are special times.
Yes.
You take care, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All the best.
Yeah.
7 minutes on to the hour of 10 o'clock in the morning time. To the point, there's an open line, and I want to say good morning to Lady Patricia Simon. We're locked in there via our Facebook feed. Kipling Francis, keep doing what you do, guys. We really appreciate the feedback as it comes via the Facebook feed. We go back to the telephone lines. Classic, good morning. You're alive.
Prime Minister is the one that told the nation that when they buy back Grenelec, they will bring down the price of electricity. So I don't know why they're trying to blame the people about using thing and using thing. They told us that they will bring down the price when they buy over. Right?
Okay.
Okay. Right.
Thank you very much. 435-2041, the number on the inside. Somebody says, that's what Nawasa does. Every time they add something, like the app or a new meter, they pass the cost to the consumers. 6 minutes on to the hour. We're getting ready to wrap in just a bit. Probably have enough time just for one final caller. But I want to remind you that, not sure if you are, by now you are aware and you've recognized it. Next week, what happens next week? The transitionary period into active classroom learning. Folks, start planning it in your head. Start planning it in your head. Maybe you're a parent and you have to return to work. You have to answer the question of, the kids, they're probably young, they can't. Who's going to supervise them? Start planning it now, because certainly next week, at the end of the day, you have to be able to come up with the answers for that. Yes, you may have to find a neighbor, find somebody, but actively engage you yourself. Ask yourself, what are the plans? What are your options? If your kids have to return to school, are you ready for school? Snacks, uniforms, all of those things. Don't wait until Monday morning to worry about it. Yeah. Somebody said to me, well, I haven't got my child's uniform as yet. He needs the school shoes. And I'm like, but you can't be serious. School was expected to open in September. We're now in October. Why are we having a conversation about this? But to each his own. To each his own. As it is, this is where we have to leave the conversation for now, folks. All good things must come to an end. I want to say a special shout out to all those of you that is on the Facebook platform. Appreciate your comments. It helps to guide what we do and the tone of this conversation. Alistair, Janice, everybody that is online, Patrice, and Patricia, that is, and everybody that's online. To all of our viewers, listeners, thanks for being part of the program. Indeed, it was a pleasure being here with you from 6 this morning. Well, if the Lord grants me mercies, we'll do it all over again tomorrow. Until then, have a great one, folks. And indeed, it was a pleasure being here with you on another episode of To The Point for today, the 20th day of October. So long. God bless you.